welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kitty Fits and we're all about health and wealth and manifesting our dreams into reality. In today's video, I am going to be talking to you guys about 5 things I wish I knew starting my fitness journey and just sharing with you guys my experience and how things change and where my mindset was and so forth. Before I actually do, I did write down some points on my iPad, but I'm going to read it from my phone because the app I use is GoodNotes and it just connects, so I'm like glad it does because my iPad is dead. So yeah, thank God I have it on my phone. Alright, so the first one I'm going to be talking to you guys about is progress pictures. So when I first started my fitness journey, I did not have that many progress pictures at all. I mean, I did wanted to take pictures every time I went to the gym, but I never stuck to it. I wasn't consistent with it because for a while I did not feel good about myself. I really didn't like how I looked for a while. I thought I could look better and that's when I'll take pictures once I look a certain way that I wanted to look. But like, I really wish somebody would have told me to take pictures. Honestly, like, who knows, like, you know, I could have looked back and been like, look how far I've came and like, wow, look at the difference of how my skin looks, because you know, your skin changes and stuff. Not that, you know, it's just like there's like a whole transformative thing about it that is so amazing and beautiful about it, no matter the size. And you know, it was hard because my mindset at the time wasn't that good, especially because I didn't have a lot of self-love for myself. I really was like very doubtful. Like my boyfriend, he would always tell me, no, you look good, but I really did not believe that. I felt like he was just saying that because he's my boyfriend, you know, he's just trying to be nice. But no, I mean, he always reminds me that he still loves me whatever size I am, and I'm like, that is so sweet. But yeah, and you know, now that I think about it, especially now, because now that I'm a little bit more older and I've done this for like almost 3 years. I mean, I have a lot more pictures now. Like, I definitely took a lot more pictures once I was like the smallest I ever was. I took so many pictures and up until now. So I do have a lot of pictures from when I was tiny, like really petite, to now, but I don't have too many from when I first started, which I wish I did because it would have been like, wow, so many photos, so many transformations that I went through, so many stages and different mindsets that you were in that time period. But it's unfortunate that I didn't take it, but it's okay. But yeah, so if you guys can definitely take pictures of yourself and, you know, do like full body pics, side pics, 3/4 view, I mean, all the works, definitely take it. I mean, honestly, don't feel like negative about yourself. I know it's easy to talk bad about yourself, but you definitely won't regret it, because then you can see how far you've come, or just how different your mindset was back then to now, you know, because it's like, I don't know, it's like different stages in your life that you go through, especially in the fitness world. Like, honestly, like, you're like basically like a phoenix, constantly dying and rising up from the ashes. Like, they're just so cool, you know. I don't know, it's just, fitness is just definitely like a never-ending thing, and you are always learning so much. I mean, I know I'm learning so much. Okay guys, so the second thing I'm going to be talking to you guys about is nutrition. And oh my gosh guys, let me tell you, I had to learn the hard way about how nutrition really affects the way how you're gonna see your results and how you're gonna look too. Because if you have it off and you're not trying to eat better, or at least trying to change the way you eat, you're just gonna be stuck. Like, yeah, you'll probably gain a little bit of muscle or a little bit of endurance, but you're not really gonna see much. Like, you're still gonna be struggling and wondering why, and your weight's gonna fluctuate. Because guys, let me tell you, it happened to me. Like, I didn't realize that in the beginning of my fitness journey, like I would say 4 or 5 months in, my weight kept fluctuating a lot because I was relying on the scale to see how much weight I went down, and I would always see it go up and down, and it was never just going down, and it stopped. So I was like, oh shoot, like, did I just hit a plateau and what's going on? And then I ended up doing some research and I figured out how like sugar can be the cause of that, or dairy. And then I realized that some of the food I was eating actually had a lot of sugar in it, because I didn't do a lot of dairy because I ended up being lactose, so I can't really drink too much dairy stuff. And once I started cutting out the lactose, once I started cutting out the stuff that had a lot of sugar in it, I actually started to see results. Like, I started to go down in my weight, and I started to become a little smaller and not so bloated either. Like, my stomach wasn't as big as it was, especially every morning, and my face didn't feel as puffy. Like, everything felt different, and I was like, wow, like, it seems like sugar really is the cause for me to feel like big, or like to kind of get stuck at a certain weight and just feeling frustrated, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, I wish I would have known sooner. But you know, I mean, I was a beginner, I was learning. Also, your girl wasn't much of a sweater. Like, I used to never really sweat even when I did sports in high school, but but the way how I would train when I started my fitness journey, I definitely started to sweat a lot, and I didn't realize how you had to replenish back the water that you lost from the sweat, you know, from all the sweat and stuff. And guys, let me tell you, my hair was the driest it ever was because I wasn't drinking enough water. Because guys, okay, so I used to dye my hair a lot, and I've seen it dry. I've seen it really dry. I've taken care of it and fixed it to where it doesn't look dry, and I would do a lot of hair masks to make sure it's hydrated, but this was the driest I've ever seen it. My skin even felt dry, like everything felt dry, and it was just crazy like how different my body and my hair was feeling. And then once I started realizing that I needed to drink water more because I was losing a lot of water and from sweating, my skin started to get better. My hair was a lot more better and a lot more healthier, which I was happy about because I did not want that to happen to me, because I was like, because I read how sometimes you can start losing your hair, and I started getting scared. So in a way, like having that fear helped me be more mindful about what I'm doing as I started doing my fitness journey. Also, even taking your vitamins, like I really didn't take a lot of vitamins, so I was always tired and I did not want to go to the gym at times, but I pushed through. And then, but even then I still felt tired and sore and stuff, and I didn't understand why I was still feeling this way even though I was eating pretty healthy. But I realized that yeah, you may be eating healthy, but vitamins will also help you out a lot, like a lot, especially having them in like that green powder supplement and taking multivitamins, or like having like those pill cases and putting the vitamins in there. But I know that can be a little tedious because I've done it and it felt tedious for me, especially remembering to take every single one or having to down them one at a time and stuff, because it was hard for me to swallow all of them at once, especially because there was one pill that was like a bigger pill than the others, and I was like, I can't do that. So for me, to make it easier on myself, I just take a multivitamin, and that's like perfect for me. And I just want to build the habit and keep the habit going, so that's what matters. And I'm just glad that I have a multivitamin. But yeah, so definitely guys, you gotta be mindful and just try to remember to drink a lot of water and eat healthy as best as you can, and be aware of what you're putting in your body, because if not, that could be the reason why you're not seeing results, or your weight may be fluctuating. So the third thing I'm going to be talking to you guys about is buying clothes. So one of the first things I did was buying a pair of gold jeans, because I thought, well, that would be a good idea, and also another way to validate that I did lose the weight and got down to that size that I wanted to be. But in the end, ended up forming this body dysmorphia that I wish I didn't have to experience, but I did, and I still did not think I was small enough. I mean, even though it was exciting to have it buttoned, I wish I wouldn't have gotten that small because of how bad it was and how crazy I thought. Like, well, not crazy, but like how negative I thought about myself. Like, I thought once I got to that size, I would feel happy and that I would love myself and I would feel a lot better. But in reality, it wasn't the greatest time of my life. And even my boyfriend kept reminding me how, like, no, like, you're still pretty, I don't care about your size, like, you're pretty all on your own, like, I love your body and stuff like that. Like, he would tell me that, but still, again, like, I couldn't accept that I was that size, you know, and that, I don't know why, I thought I was still big, you know, or at least I thought I was bigger than the actual size I was. And I would wear pants that would squish my butt. So at one point my butt started to look flat because I would wear jeans that were so tight that I would squish my butt. And I didn't know this, but my mom ended up telling me, and she was like, yeah, that jeans can do that to you, that if, you know, if you're constantly wearing jeans that are super tight, it'll make your butt flat. Kind of like when you're sitting down in the office, you know, your butt ends up getting flat after a while. That kind of scared me because I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I'm trying to build a booty and I don't want that to happen. So I tried my best to get out of that mindset and trying to wear more clothes that are loose and not so tight, and just be okay with my size. I mean, I definitely struggled a lot, but I was able to get there. And then I also started to regret buying a lot of new clothes because there were some clothes that didn't fit me good, and then there were some clothes that, you know, I didn't like, that I wasn't into anymore. I mean, it's fun buying new styles, but then I ended up accumulating like so many clothes, and there was a bunch of clothes I didn't even wear or that I forgot that existed. And it's like, oh my gosh. So then which of course I was able to sell most of them and donate some, and there were some that I had to throw away because either they ripped or they had a weird smell, and I'm like, I don't know how that got to that smell. And yeah, so that was no fun. I mean, obviously when you're losing weight, it is a great feeling, and then it's great being able to go into the store and say, oh, let me get that size instead, you know, because you feel so confident. But some of the cons for me, at least, or at least from my personal experience, I didn't have such a great one. I was very negative about myself still, so you know, it was hard to feel positive, and my mindset wasn't the greatest. But hey, that's everybody's experience is different, and that was mine. But thankfully now I am aware of how I feel, and I can love myself more better and be more gentle with myself and not be so harsh. And my body dysmorphia calmed down a lot. I mean, there's still times where I feel that way, but it's not as bad as it was when I was like petite. So the fourth one I'm going to be talking to you guys about is going to the gym. And guys, let me tell you, I definitely made sure my mom would come with me 5 days out of the week, that we would go to Planet Fitness, because I was so scared and I did not want to be alone, and she wanted to work out too, so it worked out in my favor. And oh my gosh, guys, like honestly, I was so intimidated by everybody, and I did not want anybody to look at me because of how scared I was, and I definitely didn't know what I was doing. I was just not the person I am now, to where I'm like, okay, if I go, it's fine, everybody's in their own head, like you're not the only one that's nervous, you know. No, I did not think that at all. I was like, oh my gosh, don't stare at me, look away, get away from me, I don't want to be in this corner, don't put your pad next to mine, you know. Like I was just very like, leave me alone, because of how, you know, in my head I was about everything and everybody. And then when I would see people who would wear activewear sets, I was like, oh shoot, you are that girl, you are that person that I want to achieve to be. And yeah, so I definitely had those anxiety triggers and thoughts, and just all this whole like bubble of nervousness, because you know, like I said, I was not the person I am now. And it's kind of funny to look back and see how intimidated I was by everybody and everything. But now I'm like, you know what, like if I gotta search up how to use this machine, I will, I don't care. And if I set up my tripod, it's whatever, as long as nobody tells me nothing, like as long as I just catch me, that's what matters. And if they stare, they stare, you know what, like I hope I inspire them, I hope that they don't feel intimidated by me, and I hope that they feel like, oh wow, like there's somebody doing this with me, or like we're in the same energy space, you know. I don't want nobody to feel down. I do not want anybody to feel like, oh, I can't be that person. Like you can, girl, you can totally be that person. You just gotta be consistent with it and just get it done, you know, because what matters is that you get it done. Alright, so the last one I am going to be telling you guys about is cardio. So the beginning of my fitness journey, I made sure to do some research, because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing before I went in. Because like anybody, you don't want to feel like you don't know what to do, you don't know where to start. You're like, do I do leg day? Do I do upper body? What machine do I use? You know, like you just don't know anything. So I did a lot of research going in, and I believe I ended up making it to where it was 2 separate subjects or topics, because my goal was just to burn fat, because I wanted to get down to my ideal weight for my height, which was like 130 to 120, I believe. So yeah, so that's all I wanted to do, and I wasn't sure if weightlifting or cardio was the best option, and was leaning more towards weightlifting. But then I ended up getting scared, because somebody was saying how you could build muscle into fat, and how that can cause a lot of problems, and I definitely did not want that to happen to me. So I ended up going towards cardio, because I figured that was the most easiest and most effective way to burn fat, and then I could just build muscle later on. But guys, cardio is great and all, but because I only focused on that and just trying to build some strength in my body, I ended up having a harder time trying to build muscle when I did decide to lift weights, because when I did see results, it was basically a whole other year later. Like for the first year of my fitness journey, I just did cardio based workouts and all that stuff only. But by the second year of my fitness journey, that's when I decided to lift weights. But even then, like I said, not until the end of the year, maybe like the 8th or 9th month, that's when I started to see some type of results. But even then, like it wasn't a lot, because when you do cardio, yes, it will help you burn fat, but it will also make you lose some muscle mass. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And it's not gonna harm you or nothing, but like I said, it's gonna make it harder for you to build muscle, like how it did for me. And that time took a long time, and now I'm at the point where it's easier to build muscle, and even if I lose some muscle, like I can gain it back easier and faster, versus being just only cardio based. And now I realize that actually cardio can be your best best friend if you just find a balance with it in your workout routine and just adding it maybe 1 or 2 days out of the week or however you want to add it. But yeah, and once I realized that that can help me, like, and I would do the Stairmaster and that would help me stay lean while I'm building my muscle, because it was crazy. Like, there was a time where I thought I was getting bigger, but I did the Stairmaster and it was amazing. I loved it. It was my favorite thing in the world, and it definitely helped you build endurance. Like, I felt like my endurance went up higher because, you know, you're like pretending to go upstairs and like you're literally like, it's like running in place, but you're doing the stairs in place, if you get what I mean. But yeah, so that was my experience with that. It may not happen to others. Some people may be able to build muscle easier even if they only did cardio, but that's my personal experience and that's what happened to me. So if you are doing that, try not to do just cardio only, because you don't want to have that struggle like I did. Alright guys, so that was the 5 things I wish I knew starting my fitness journey, and I hope that was very insightful and you guys got a lot of advice from it and just learned a lot, because you know, you definitely don't want to make mistakes like I did and find out things later on and got some more information and stuff like that, because you never know what I may say might be good for you and you may be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that, you know. But I hope you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and don't forget to like and subscribe and see the other videos I posted somewhere around here, and have an amazing beautiful day, and don't forget to manifest your dreams into reality. Bye.